Hey guys, Palsteron here, and today I'll talk about my day one experience with spell totems. Now, everything went pretty much as described, just that the campaign is a lot easier than it used to be. I don't really know what they did. Some of the monsters do less damage, some of the monsters have less HP, but overall it's a lot more pleasant. Bone Storm, if you've played with it for the first time, you now know why it's so broken, if you have everything set up correctly. But afterwards, I respected the totems. And Bone Cage does work on totems. It wasn't as good as I hoped it to be, but it was very decent, and Bone Storm had good single target damage. So my plan was to play it for a little bit longer, right, like up to level 60, 70, and then respec to Spark. However, we found something else. One of the new ward skills called Grim Pillars is actually incredibly strong for spell totems. Now, the way spell totems work is they do not spend the mana, or the ward in this case, for the spell, because you just put them down and they are disconnected from the spell. Totems do not have any mana, they do not have any ward to spend, so they just spend it for free. And Grim Pillars is one of those. It doesn't cost a lot of ward, but it's still really nice. So 0.7 cost time, 12% crit, and it just puts down all of these ice pillar crystals thingies. I don't really know exactly how it works. We've tested out a little bit, and we can explode them pretty easily with a secondary skill, in this case, Entangle. But even without Entangle, it can clear. So you do not actually have to press Entangle all the time. However, your way can be blocked by those ice crystals. That has been kind of like side-eyed by the fact that it does a lot of damage. I'll show you how this works. So this is the skill we're talking about. It is Grim Pillars, and I will quickly just cast it myself. So Grim Pillar, boom. We cast it down, and then we're going to consume it with Entangle, right? But you don't really have to. This already does damage. It clears most enemies, but after that, you can also put down Entangle and you can destroy it. And the way this works is how you destroy these ice crystals. It's very easy. You just need Biting Frost support on whatever secondary skill you have. Biting Frost support consumes freeze. And if you hover over Grim Pillar or any skill that says ice crystals, you will see that on the bottom it says, skills which consume freeze will instantly shatter ice crystal, causing them to deal more damage in a larger area. So the idea on single target is that you just put down a lot of entangles, which are just over and over there, and will over and over explode your crystals. Meanwhile, you put down your totems, which are going to cast the Grim Pillar over and over. Now, I'll show you this quickly, how this looks like with some gameplay, because the only annoying thing about this is that it can block where you want to go, but it also really can't, because you can just entangle down. But it is usually a 1-button playstyle, but sometimes a 2-button playstyle, because you do have to press it. But if you look at the AoE, I mean, is it worth it? I don't know about you. Like, it has been absolutely ridiculous so far, I will say. And it also doesn't matter how much damage the Entangle deals, so you can actually use a very low level Entangle. It is just there as a proc to consume the freeze. So that's how it looks like. And it really excels at stationary stuff as well. So for example, I'm going to show you this right here. So we put this down. I put down all the entangles, all the totems. At this point, I already have 4 totems. I'll show you a little bit more about my setup in a second. But yeah, it will just explode everything over and over, wave after wave. And yeah, this is on a 5 link right now, so on 4 supports. And I mean, it's just beautiful. Now, how do you get Grim Pillars? Either you get it from the Lee mechanic as a reward, so just remember that name, and whenever you see it, click it, or you have to buy it from trade. Currently, it's very hyped because there was a clip where I show the skill off, but from what I've heard, it is not that rare, so it will probably go down over time. But I would say keep going with Bone Cage and Bone Storm until you can afford Grim Pillars or you find it yourself. So if you're still following Bone Cage, everything in the planner is still up to date and valid. So here I'm going to show you my setup. The first thing is Spell Totem with Grim Pillars, and then Magnified Area, Astral Projection, and Urgent Totems. There could be other stuff here, like Ice Crystal related stuff, but I just did not have the time to test it. I already wasted like 1 or 2 hours on a day 1 to even figure all this stuff out. Entangle with Branching Fissures, Biting Frost, Magnified Area, and Rapid Casting. It's just there to proc, so basically everything that makes it cozy and spread out a lot. Elemental Weakness is super strong. Put Efficiency 2 on both of this and the Frost Bomb. Make sure you keep it upgraded and you keep it leveled. Cursed Ground on Ellie Weak with Heightened Curse. And then we have Short Fuse, Potent Exposure, and Spell Cascade. Now, if you're wondering how to upgrade gems, because these cannot be upgraded, these ward skills cannot be upgraded with normal uncut skill gems, Currency Exchange and then Thaumaturgic Flux, you can see them down here. This one upgrades it to the level that you want. Now, lots of people have been asking me about my spirit situation because I'm right now at 315 spirits, so I can already put down 4 totems. Here's the deal. You can get spirit on Amulet, you can buy it from trade, you can get it yourself, you can get spirit from body armor, and then the rest you get from your quests. And I did not go Shaman, as you can see right now, and it was not necessary. There's one spirit quest in Act 2, one in Act 3, and the last one is right here in Crier Village, so do the right side first. As you can see, my scepter is nothing special right now, and once again, I want to remind you that if you have a Purity Scepter, you can put in however many supports you want in here for free. As for the passive tree, if you go Bone Cage, nothing really changed. You can, however, go down first to this cluster right here. I did underestimate how strong the placement speed is early, especially now that you can move, so you can do that. But for the Grim Pillar, which is a cold skill, we have to change some stuff. The first thing I thought was go over here real quick and grab the +1, but it's just too much pathing. So I just went normal as per usual and just did not go for all of these physical nodes, as you can see right here. And I also didn't go for these right here. Instead, I went for early movement speed because I just did so much damage. And then I also went for increased elemental damage, damage against shield, and my next point is going to be cold nature. And like I said, I didn't go for this Fizz cluster. Instead, I went for all natural and storm charged. And at the end, some tips and tricks. The first thing is you will always find all relevant links in my doc. Unfortunately, it is a little bit too much. Otherwise, when the links are spread out over everywhere, because I have to update it everywhere, so it will be updated in my doc. Don't forget Living Lightning when you use Bone Storm early. If you're not destroying bosses with Bone Storm, that is a you issue and might have to do with you not putting down your Thunderstorm, which procs Living Lightning, which then procs the impales from Bone Storm. Next one is big. You need to level both your Spell Totem and your spell. I know it's confusing, but Spell Totem is just there. The levels, all it does is it gives you defensiveness on the Spell Totem. So it gives you extra life and extra resistances on the Spell Totem. And then there's breakpoints where you get a limit of totem increase. But that's it, right? Other than that, your damage is still coming from your spell. So if you have a Bone Cage right there, you need to upgrade it over and over. If you have a Grim Pillars, you need to upgrade it over and over. Otherwise, you're going to lose a ton of damage. That's how this game works. Also, as soon as you get your first uncut gem level 4 and you get a 4th support gem, get Urgent Totems free in, and it's absolutely broken. These 100 placement speed will literally change the way the build's gonna feel. Then as an early game wand, just a little recommendation here, get a +3 to level of all spell skills, but make sure that the level requirement is not too high, because that will depend on the skill level in the implicit and when whoever sold it to you actually found it. The reason this is so good is it's all spells, it's not just physical whatever, which means that it also works for your spell totem, which makes it tankier. And on top of that, you get to the level 14 breakpoint earlier, which gives you limit to totems, which is then 4 with Ancestral Bond. Oh, and always check the lead mechanic. I've gotten multiple 5 links just in Act 4. It's pretty broken. And yes, you do still get the guaranteed 5 link at the end of Act 4, but yeah, I mean, the league mechanic is absolutely crazy. You don't need to do it. You can also just check if it's Artificer's Orbs and you don't need them, then just skip. But yeah, always look what's there. Either way though, I hope you guys enjoyed the earlier than usual day 1 update. I just wanted to get this out there so you guys can get your hands on this gem and try it out yourself. It is an absolute blast so far. I might still go Spark in endgame, but I mean, yeah, this skill is really fun and it's new and fresh. So I'll be sticking around with it for a while. And hope you guys enjoyed the video. And hope you guys have a good league start. And since I still don't have a slogan, see you next time.